Hello everyone, it's DiegoDoom here. Today I'm bringing another review. Today I'll be reviewing SH Monster Arts Mothra. This version of Mothra comes from the 1992 film Godzilla and Mothra, The Battle for Earth, also known as Godzilla vs. Mothra. A team discovers a giant egg after a storm on Infant Island. The team decides to transport the egg back to Japan, but Godzilla soon interrupts their voyage. During the team's confrontation with Godzilla, Mothra emerges from the egg in her larval form. Mothra battles Godzilla briefly, but leaves upon the arrival of Batra. Later in the film, Mothra seeks out the twin fairies Cosmos. Once she finds them, Mothra forms a cocoon and changes into her flying imago form. Eventually, Mothra battles Batra and then Godzilla. After Godzilla proves himself to be the bigger threat, Mothra teams up with Batra to save both the world and humanity from Godzilla. Be sure to check out the 1992 film Godzilla and Mothra, The Battle for Earth, also known as Godzilla vs. Mothra. It is absolutely fantastic. SH Monster Arts Mothra is another fantastic release in the SH Monster Arts line. Mothra has a fantastic sculpt, fantastic paint applications, a great accessory, and a great range of articulation. First, let's admire Mothra's box. Now that we're done admiring Mothra's box, let's go ahead and take a look at Mothra's one accessory. Mothra comes with one stand. First for the base. The base is very nicely done, so we have our icons for both Batra and Mothra. Then we have Mothra in English and in Japanese. Now the paint apps here are done in a yellow and black as compared to our Batra stand, which was done in a red and black, and as you can see, these bases are pretty much identical with the exception of the paint apps and also the names, so pretty cool there. Now this is an Act 4 stance. We have our neck here, pegging it like so. That's it. Then also, this stand comes with a cradle specifically for Mothra. So here's the cradle here. Pretty simple and basic, but very powerful. So we'll grab our figure. To attach this, all we have to do is simply place this right in the middle of Mothra's underside. So just kind of push this in like so, and that's it. And one thing to make sure the wide portion here wraps right underneath Mothra's abdomen. So pretty cool there. Now let's take a moment to back up and put Mothra on her stand. Now we have Mothra on her stand and it looks absolutely fantastic. Like with our Batra figure, be sure to properly seat Mothra onto her cradle. If you do not properly seat Mothra, there is a high chance she could fall and the wings will break. To better secure Mothra to her cradle, make sure to tuck her legs and abdomen inward for a tighter and more secure fit to the cradle. Now that we have the accessories out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the Mothra figure itself. Mothra has a fantastic sculpt, fantastic paint applications, and a great range of articulation. First, let's start with the head. We can look up, down, left, right. We can twist the head side to side. The mouth here can open up, which is pretty cool. It's very nice there. Moving down to the legs, things get pretty interesting. So first and foremost, we'll kind of zoom in some and focus all this as best we possibly can. The hips here are on ball joints, so we can move the legs pretty freely. Also, the legs have 2 points of movement, so we have a bend here and also a bend at the knee. Now, these 2 points of movement are on hinges and not ball joints. In all honesty, Mothra's legs feel a lot more delicate than Batra's legs, so when handling Mothra's legs, please be extra careful. In my experience, the worst thing that's happened to me so far, this back leg here on the right likes to pop out of its socket here at the hip. Not a big deal, I can easily push that back in, but still, just be extra careful when handling Mothra's legs. Moving on to the abdomen here, we can move this up, down, left, right, and also twist this side to side, which is pretty cool. Then finally, we have our wings. So the wings have a great range of motion. Now, as always, when moving the wings, only move them at the base and never the tip. So at the base here with the primary wings, for this range of movement there. Then for the secondary wings, we move these up and down. So very nice. So Mothra has a great range of articulation. So kind of get her all straightened up here. Now, in terms of sculpted paint apps, this figure is stunning. And one thing you'll notice here, that leg just now fell off. So again, just be careful when handling Mothra's legs. So kind of push that leg back in like so. Get that in there. There we go. So, when you take Mothra out of the box, the first thing you'll notice is Mothra's body has a very nice soft texture to it. And this will really try to replicate Mothra's fur from the film, which is definitely very cool. So a very unique feel to this figure. Let's start with the head here. So we have the antennae here at the top. We have our orange and black fur. Then we have our white fur here. And then also these very nice, large, compound blue eyes. Definitely very cool. We have the mouth here. It's done in a nice gradated browns. Very nicely done there. As you can see, the fur detail is simply stunning. Then for the legs here, they're done in a very nice off-white, and also the claws are yellow, so very nicely done there. Moving on to the abdomen here on the bottom, we have the black here, and then at the top of it, we have our orange and white stripes, which is pretty cool. Then also we have this tip here at the back of the abdomen. Very nice there. At the thorax, we have our orange and white. We have the top of the head. Then for the wings here, the fur does go out on the wings some, so we have our black, our yellow, and then we have our white and orange, which is very nice. Also, there is a yellow strip of fur that goes out all the way to the tips of the wings, so very nicely done there. Then also we have the famous Mothra pattern here for the wings. Definitely very cool. And then we have our secondary wings down here. There is fur located underneath as well. Very cool. Very nicely done. This figure is truly stunning and a very nice representation of Mothra. Now, this figure does have one little hiccup here, and I'll cover that just briefly. You'll notice on the secondary wings, you have these tubes exposed for some reason, and I must admit, these are quite the eyesore once you notice them. So do be aware of that. Not a big deal, but still, they could have easily covered these up. I don't know why they did not do that, but still a great figure. Let's go ahead and zoom out some. So this is truly stunning. Now that we have the Mothra figure out of the way, let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. For size comparison, first up we have Godzilla 1994 with our Mothra figure. Both figures look absolutely fantastic and definitely very cool together. As you can see, these figures are scaled very nicely here. Definitely very cool. Next, let's go ahead and grab our Godzilla 1964 figure. As we all know, Godzilla 1964 is fairly small, but still he looks great with Mothra. Very nice there. Next, let's grab our Godzilla 2000 figure. And these two look great together, as you can see. Straighten them up there. Very nicely done. And definitely very cool. Next, let's grab our Kiru figure. And again, these look great together. Very nicely done there. And then finally, let's grab our Gigan 2004 figure. And as we all know, Gigan is a very large figure, but still, these two look great together. Very nicely done. Now for the fun of it, let's go ahead and grab some figures from other figure lines. So first up, we have our Super Robot Chigokin, Grendizer. And as you can see, Grendizer is smaller than Mothra, but still looks great with her. So pretty cool there. Next, we'll grab our Ultra Act Ultra 7 Renewal Version figure. And as you can see, these two look really nice together. So definitely very cool there. And then finally, since Godzilla Fan Freaks likes to stir up the Guyver pot, let's go ahead and throw in our Max Factory Biofighter Collection number 6, Zectol. And as you can see, Zectol is an absolutely massive figure, but he definitely fits the bug theme we have going on here. So definitely very cool. So now, let's take a moment to back up and bring Batra into the picture. Now we have Batra in the picture with Mothra, and both figures look absolutely fantastic together. Both figures are in scale with one another, and they look great. Now that we have the size comparison out of the way, let's go ahead and conclude this review. To conclude the review, SH Monster Arts Mothra is another fantastic release in the SH Monster Arts line. Mothra has a fantastic sculpt, fantastic panel applications, a great accessory, and a great range of articulation. This figure is definitely very nice, very neat, and very cool. I absolutely recommend that everyone picks this figure up. Also, be sure to check out the 1992 film Godzilla and Mothra, The Battle for Earth, also known as Godzilla vs. Mothra. It is absolutely fantastic. This has been another review by DiegoDoom. Thank you very much for watching, and please stay tuned for more figure reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe.